Part 48. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gumyu Shuang. Chapter 471. When they arrived at the theater, because it was a private theater, there were only two of them in the huge theater. Sci-Fi chose a love-healing movie with good reputation. It was not that he chose this movie on purpose, but he saw that this was the most popular movie recently, and the others were all bad movies. This movie is from abroad, but the background happens to be somewhat similar to Yingwan's life experience. The heroine is just an ordinary college student. She was accidentally lost by her parents when she was young. After growing up, she returned home with help and found that there was already an adopted daughter in her family who replaced her. Of course, the parents are not as good as they are in reality. This movie mainly tells the story of the heroine facing strange and awkward parents, the running in between each other in this family, and finally letting go of the grudges with her parents and finding true love. Because of the background of this story and the freshness, plus there is really nothing to watch recently, this movie has good reputation and box office. There are very few such series abroad, and Yingwan has not seen it either. If she just immerses herself in it, this movie gives her a good impression. After watching the movie, the ending of the story is a happy ending. The heroine and the adopted daughter become good sisters, accept their parents and live happily with their boyfriend. It is a perfect ending of life. During the movie, Sci-Fi was very quiet and respected Yingwan's viewing experience. It was not until the end that Yingwan heard a faint magnetic voice from her ear, "How do you feel?" "Not bad. This is the first time to watch a movie in a cinema." Yingwan chose a comment, "It's a very warm story, and the ending is also perfect." She would not put herself in the picture. As early as she knew what the situation of the Lin family was, she gave up on the Lin family too early, because there would be no expectations, and there would be no disappointment. The reason why a movie is that the ending can be controlled. Reality is often much more complicated. It was exactly 12 o'clock in the morning when they finished watching the movie. Sci-Fi saw that she was quite satisfied with the process of the date and was happy, so he said, "I'll take you home." Yingwan looked at the time and said, "It's too late now. Suhan and the others will take me home. Why don't you go directly to C's house?" The location of the cinema is quite close to Yingwan's residence. In fact, it doesn't matter where she lives, because she has a house anyway. Sci-Fi insisted, "I'll take you home. It's not right to let you go home alone on the first date. Yingwan, you don't take Suhan and the others seriously. I don't think they will be happy." Sci-Fi sneered. Suhan and the others were also forced to watch this movie. The team members were still complaining, "I thought that with Sci-Fi's personality, he would pick some horror movies to scare Miss Ying. These are all some common tricks on the internet. I didn't expect him to be such a gentleman." Suhan thought for a while, and the corners of his lips curled slightly, "I can't imagine Miss Ying's fear." Everyone also thought about it and found that they really couldn't imagine it. "In my impression, Miss Ying is always calm and composed in everything she does. Sometimes when she is with more people, she becomes more friendly and outgoing, but she is absolutely impossible to be afraid." Sci-Fi probably knows this, so he didn't give any bad advice. After all, it's the first date, and a good impression is the most important. He won't shoot himself in the foot. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gumyu Shuang. Chapter 472. Today's first date with Sci-Fi was pleasant. Sci-Fi sent her home in the evening, and it was already 12:30 in the morning. Sci-Fi did not stay long. He wanted to stay, but Yingwan did not give him this hint. This was a bit regrettable. Xiaohei had not slept yet. Yingwan touched her stomach and suddenly felt a little hungry. Maybe it was because she had been active for too long? But she did not exercise much, so she should not be hungry. The large living room looked a bit lonely. She walked over and opened the door of the refrigerator. It was full of things. Yingwan thought about it and decided to make a bowl of noodles. As soon as the ingredients were taken out, the phone suddenly vibrated violently. Lonely genius, are you there? Lonely genius, something big happened. Lonely genius, this shameless thief is so shameless he must have stolen our theory connection. Yingwan saw the phone vibrating happily, and thought that Si Lu had sent her a message as soon as he came downstairs. It turned out to be a message from a friend on the internet. They had already agreed to meet in a few days. At this moment, the lonely genius seemed to have discovered something extraordinary. His anger could be seen through the phone. Yingwan took a look and found that he had sent her a link. After she clicked on it, she understood why the lonely genius was so angry. This was a speech published in an authoritative computer science magazine in China, and it was delivered by a genius student from Tsinghua University and Peking University. Originally, this was nothing. Looking at his resume, this person was quite proud of ordinary people at the time. At a young age, he had already had 3 international award-winning papers and was also an outstanding talent in computer science. His speech was still a speech on campus, but the problem was that several topics in the speech were too familiar to Yingwan. This was a topic about AI that she and the lonely genius discussed on the forum. In fact, most of the content here has been proposed by modern scientists, and it is not original, but Yingwan used advanced mathematics to substitute a few ideas and model structures. In fact, the difficulty is not very high, but it is a bit confusing. It is difficult for ordinary people to think of the substitution, which should be said to be a bit unconventional. But Yingwan proposed it herself after all, and she can be sure that she has not seen any related reports in her memory, so it is her own creation, even if she published it on a forum. The theme of this person's speech is a bit like breaking up her discussion with the lonely genius, but the core theme is the same, and a very small section is borrowed. It is directly used. There is nothing wrong with using it, just indicate that it is a reprint, but this person claimed to have come up with it himself during the speech. Because the idea is avant-garde enough, professors from Peking University and Tsinghua University praised it after the speech, and even professors of related majors including Haddon said that the speech is really good. Only a small part of it was the topic discussed by Yingwan and his friends, and it was broken up. Even if others had read the forum where Yingwan and Lonely Genius discussed, they might not be able to see it. However, Lonely Genius was a leader in the relevant profession, so he probably saw it by chance. He and Yingwan had discussed the topic for so many days, and the topic had long been deeply thought about, so he saw the problem immediately. No wonder he was so angry. Yingwan was not aggressive, but he would not sit back and watch others take the fruits of his labor and say that they were his own ideas. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 473. This so-called genius student is called He Tianqing. He is a well-known figure in the computer science department of Peking University and Tsinghua University. He has written several award-winning professional papers at a young age. Although he is not at the top of the world, he is still an enviable excellent student. There was a professional speech contest on campus yesterday. He Tianqing used the relevant knowledge he learned to give a speech and proposed several relatively novel speeches on AI topics, which received unanimous praise. Even the tutor said that he did not expect He Tianqing to have such research on AI in his major. AI is a new subject that has emerged in recent years. He Tianqing also took a minor in his spare time. Unexpectedly, he learned it very well. After the speech, He Tianqing's tutor found him and praised his speech. Tianqing, several tutors are very satisfied with your speech today. I didn't expect you to have such insights on AI. If you have time, add some of your insights and organize them into papers for publication. Maybe it will be another award-winning paper. He Tianqing is still quite good-looking. He is the type of person who is good-looking and a super academic master on campus. There is no shortage of top students in Peking University and Tsinghua University. It can even be said that everyone is a top student, but there are always some differences. He Tianqing is still a relatively high-level one. Hearing this, his eyes flickered slightly, but he didn't notice that the smile on his lips was a little unnatural. He only heard him say, "I will sort it out after I go back. I will trouble you to give me some guidance and revisions at that time." Of course, there is no problem, but the two topics about AI in your article also involve relatively niche mathematical formulas. I didn't expect it at all. How did you think of it? He Tianqing's smile was stiff for a moment. How did he think of it? Of course, when he was browsing the forum, he accidentally saw two forum accounts discussing this matter. He is a related major. Although others think that these two people are talking nonsense, after reading the entire discussion, at least these two accounts are professional. This viewpoint on the direction of AI is quite tricky, but also very rare. He remembered it when he saw it. When he was lacking some inspiration in the speech yesterday, he thought about it and used it. Of course, he knew that this was a bad behavior, so he broke it up a bit, but the core essence was still borrowing other people's ideas. Of course, it was exactly the same thing. Now hearing what the tutor said, he really didn't expect that this idea would arouse their great interest. Whether it was a paper or not was not the key was if someone caught it. He Tianqing thought so, but what he said was another meaning. It was an accidental inspiration, and of course the specific data calculation must be carried out. Your theory is actually quite reliable. The tutor nodded. You can further organize the complete theory, maybe it will cause a sensation. I haven't seen any novel ideas about AI like yours at home and abroad. He Tianqing's eyelids twitched suddenly. Teacher, is my theory amazing? It's not a question of whether it's amazing or not, the tutor thought for a while. It's quite surprising, and according to the preliminary idea you proposed, there should be a certain amount of data experiment space, but after all, I am not a related major, so it depends on what Teacher Wu and others mean. I see that they are very surprised by your performance today. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gumyu Shuang. Chapter 474. He Tianqing had a vague feeling that it was not good. But he was not afraid. After all, only two topics involved other people's views, and the others were his own ideas. He still had real talent. However, it was these two topics that were praised by the tutor, saying that he was original. To some extent, it was denying the other contents of He Tianqing's speech. He thought about it. The website was a related professional forum, but there were so many people. His speech was just a speech at Peking University and Tsinghua University. It might not be discovered by others. Maybe even the person who proposed the theory would not see it. Besides, even if it was discovered, it was just that the assumptions were somewhat similar. He could say that he came up with it himself, and it just happened that he bumped into someone else's brain hole. Thinking of this, He Tianqing breathed a sigh of relief. After talking to his tutor, He Tianqing got the news that Peking University and Tsinghua University specially posted his speech video on Weibo today. Although He Tianqing was a little scared, he couldn't help but feel proud. After all, who doesn't want to be famous for their own skills these days? Unexpectedly, He Tianqing thought of Ying Wan, a super genius who had recently emerged in China. He was simply a mountain weighing on all students, a god-level figure that could not be surpassed even in dreams. Even He Tianqing himself could not believe that there was such an outrageous person in the world, but the other party was still too far away from them. He Tianqing just suddenly thought of Ying Wan, and his thoughts flashed through his mind, and he soon let it go. The official blog of Tsinghua University and Peking University has always had a large number of fans. After all, it is the first university in China, and its popularity is naturally needless to say. However, in addition to being worshipped 666 by people, the videos posted on weekdays basically have few nutritious comments. Only this comment posted today, because it involves new AI theories and is recognized by relevant professional professors as having certain experimental space, He Tianqing immediately caught the attention of netizens. Of course, everyone said that the little brother was 66,666 while worshipping the academic bully for not only being so smart, but also so handsome. In the video, He Tianqing was dressed in a suit. He was not afraid of the stage in front of the professors from Peking University and Tsinghua University. His generous aura made people unable to take their eyes off him. Soon, the Weibo post was full of fans. What was even more unexpected was that this view was too novel. Many professors of related majors and industry leaders left messages on Weibo, saying that the young people were formidable. Even Professor Hatton, who had called for Yingwan at the beginning, saw this video and left an English message on Weibo, which roughly meant the student is very good. I am very interested in this theory. We can meet and discuss it if there is a chance. You should know that this is the famous Professor Hatton AI, who is very famous. To be praised by him is simply a blessing from the ancestors. Suddenly, a speech video originally by an ordinary student immediately received more than 10,000 comments. It was a real hot post and naturally ranked at the end of the hot search. But soon, the comments on Weibo were a little different. It is really awesome, but I have to say that there are two theories in it that I don't remember where I saw them before. Is the entire speech theme an original theory? I thought those two on the forum were just bragging, but I didn't expect that they are now really verified. Lonely genius, how shameless. They dare to claim that they are their own original authors by taking stolen theories. Comrade He Tianqing, the genius, do you dare to come to the forum to confront them face to face? Becoming the richest by farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 475. Lonely Genius also uses the name of his forum on Weibo. Of course, there are many strange names on Weibo, and his name is not secondary, but he directly fired at He Tianqing's video Weibo, which immediately caused a backlash from a group of fans. Yes, He Tianqing still has fans. After all, the live broadcast industry is now developed, including the rampant short video platforms. He Tianqing, as a handsome academic master, caught up with this trend on a famous short video app. When he has time, he posts a few videos about his studies. He has good looks and good grades, which naturally attracted the attention of many people. He also has millions of fans on the app. It's just that most of the fans are active on the app, but now that He Tianqing has been attacked, the fans immediately began to besiege Lonely Genius on Weibo. You know shit, you know, who do you say plagiarized? Speak clearly. You are really disgusting for making such rumors under our Tianqing's Weibo. Awesome, you are really awesome. The official Weibo of Peking University and Tsinghua University dare to make rumors. You can wait to receive a lawyer's letter. At first, it was only discovered by fans and attacked dozens of times. Lonely Genius soon discovered it. He immediately threw out the link of the forum post he and Yingwan discussed. Many people clicked in, but what they saw was a long string of dense data discussions, totally incomprehensible. Yingwan and Lonely Genius discussed the topic of AI throughout the post. The post had dozens of replies and was full of professional data. Ordinary people would find it incomprehensible at a glance, let alone find the similarities. The theory that He Tianqing borrowed is still in the center. If you are not a professional, you really can't see it. Later, he and Yingwan switched to WeChat private chat. This post seemed to be forced to be cut off. No one supported the post and no one discussed it. It has been buried for a long time. If Lonely Genius hadn't released it this time, it is estimated that no one would have discovered it. Fans couldn't find anything wrong. After all, there are not many real fans of He Tianqing, but this Weibo post was under the official Weibo of Tsinghua University and Peking University. Soon the school assistant who operated the official Weibo found something wrong. He clicked in and saw something was wrong. He notified He Tianqing and the school about this matter. At this time, it was only a few hours before the official Weibo of Peking University and Tsinghua University published his speech video. He Tianqing had already returned to the dormitory. When he received the news, his face suddenly darkened. He was still discovered. He knew there might be a problem, but he didn't expect the other party to react so quickly. It was obvious that they were definitely from the same circle, and this was a big trouble. He Tianqing was only slightly nervous in his heart when the trouble was big. He knew very well that there must be a way to solve this matter. Peking University and Tsinghua University would not watch him get into trouble. It was just two small theoretical references, which could be completely covered up by brainstorming. It was impossible for someone with a great background to casually say his important theory on the forum. He Tianqing speculated that the other party was not too professional, but only mentioned this unpopular theory occasionally. He should not be an authoritative person in reality. Thinking of this, he was a little relieved and quickly replied to the other party, "What's the matter? This is completely nonsense." He Tianqing answered affirmatively, and even He Tianqing's mentor knew about the turmoil on the official Weibo. Out of the style of a famous school, the official Weibo of Peking University and Tsinghua University sent a private message to the lonely genius. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 476. Yingwan saw the screenshot of the message sent to her by Lonely Genius. The above is a screenshot of the private message from Tsinghua University and Peking University. The words are sincere, indicating whether there is any misunderstanding. The speaker in the video, He Tianqing, insists that the theory is his own original work and does not admit that he is borrowing. The editor who controls the Weibo is not an AI major and cannot completely see the similarities, so he is just trying to find out the truth. Lonely Genius, it's ridiculous he dares to insist that it is his own original work. Plagiarizing theory is a serious consequence. He may not be able to keep his degree. He is still lying. I really doubt whether his previous award-winning papers were also plagiarized by others. Yingwan is experiencing this kind of thing for the first time. In her life, she has only seen others plagiarize papers or other academic authoritative theories. She is rarely plagiarized because no one has the courage. But that was when everyone knew that it was written by her. This time in the forum, I don't know if I covered the vest. No one knows who she is, which caused He Tianqing to be obsessed for a while. Yingwan thought about it and replied to Lonely Genius, I will talk to Tsinghua University and Peking University. Several of her former teachers were from Tsinghua and Peking University, and she had a close relationship with them. It was best to solve this kind of small matter privately. After all, it was not the school's fault, but the student's personal mistake. If Tsinghua and Peking University knew the truth, they would never let a student do such a thing. The Lonely Genius quickly replied, will they listen if you find them? I read the news. This He Tianqing seems to be an important figure in Tsinghua and Peking University. You wait, they will definitely continue to contact me. He just borrowed two of your theories according to the severity. Tsinghua and Peking University definitely don't want to lose such a talent. I just posted a blog to attract their attention, not to destroy him. You just wait for my reply. Lonely Genius, don't worry, brother, I know the limit. I have many classmates from Tsinghua and Peking University, so I have to give them face. 1. She was silent for a while, but still replied, if there is no result tonight, I will go to Tsinghua and Peking University. Lonely Genius, okay, you went to Tsinghua and Peking University, and you seem to be full of confidence, brother. What do you do in reality? He and Yingwan talked a lot, but she never revealed the real information about Yingwan. He only knew that she graduated from Hatton, and the other party really didn't know what she did. He didn't know whether she was a professional professor or a student of the same school. Yingwan, I do research. Tsinghua and Peking University have a connection. I know the professors there. Lonely Genius, /thumbs up, okay, awesome. In this case, Lonely Genius originally intended to post a blog to let Tsinghua and Peking University know that He Tianqing's video was a trick. Maybe he was too young and the means were a bit rough. Tsinghua and Peking University responded quickly, but He Tianqing's brainless fans reacted faster. They were sure that their idol was wronged, and then Lonely Genius got into trouble. This trouble, of course, did not refer to him, but the information on the internet. He was arrogant, so he used his own name on Weibo, and also had real information, age 14, a genius boy from Kongsabel, who was on the news at the time. Now seeing this genius boy questioning He Tianqing, fans are a little surprised. After all, they are all relevant professionals, and they definitely know better than the fans whether it was plagiarized or not. But how could the fans really bear to see He Tianqing suffer this injustice, and they all accused the Lonely Genius of taking the opportunity to hype up the work. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 477. The Lonely Genius was originally named Luo Junling, a 14-year-old genius boy. He has been interested in artificial intelligence since he was a child, and he also studied related computer majors. Later, when the artificial intelligence discipline was officially launched and promoted, he changed disciplines and has been studying hard. He has compared the things he discussed with Yingwan on the forum, and feels that there is a lot of room for experimentation. But I didn't expect that occasionally searching for similar news would find such a surprise. He was not afraid of fans revealing his information. The only thing he didn't expect was that night, I don't know if He Tianqing was anxious. The news from Tsinghua and Peking University was that He Tianqing insisted that he was the original author. Luo Junling didn't talk to him much, and directly sent the theory they originally discussed to the official blog of Tsinghua and Peking University. Until that night, no other information came out. Luo Junling was not anxious, but instead became interested in He Tianqing. He was also a computer science student. Although the general directions were different, there were also similarities. Luo Junling went to investigate the award-winning papers that He Tianqing published at Tsinghua and Peking University at that time, and he really found something interesting. He had nothing to do, so he sent all this information to Yingwan. After reading it, Yingwan was a little surprised. He Tianqing's papers looked normal, but Luo Junling also had an unusual side. He gave Yingwan this answer through analysis and comparison. I think the style of He Tianqing's previous award-winning papers is a little different, and it shouldn't be his style alone. I suspect that his papers are not clean, but I haven't found other original texts online. Luo Junling is also a man of action. He investigated He Tianqing's previous papers in such a short time. After analysis and comparison, he felt that there was a problem. Yingwan also read it carefully. She was not interested in He Tianqing, but if Luo Junling's guess was true, then the nature of He Tianqing's case was more serious than the borrowing of theories that was currently happening. This is illegal. Of course, it is also possible that they guessed wrong, and He Tianqing did have real materials. If they guessed right, but the original version of the paper could not be found online, there is only one possibility: He Tianqing bought the previous papers. It is difficult for ordinary people to tell whether these professional papers are the same, because once they are the same, they are 100% plagiarized. However, the only similarity in a paper with a bunch of professional data is the data. Why does Luo Junling say that the style is the same? That is, there are some subtle deviations in the writing techniques of these papers. Ordinary people can hardly see where the difference is, but Yingwan noticed the inconsistency after reading a few papers. The wording and sentence structure of several papers, including the punctuation marks used, are somewhat different in habits. If they were really written by the same person, such differences should not appear. Yingwan thought about it and searched for He Tianqing's ordinary papers for comparison. Ordinary people cannot find such in-depth information, but she is different. She is a special professor of Tsinghua University and Peking University, with the highest authority, and can investigate the information of each student at any time. It is easy for her to log into her account on the official website of Tsinghua University and Peking University to investigate various information about He Tianqing. Comparing the paper information submitted by He Tianqing and the papers he wrote, Yingwan judged with her professionalism that these papers were written by different people. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 478. In other words, He Tianqing either stole it from someone else or bought it. Only a part of one article incorporated He Tianqing's own style. Overall, he should have real talent and learning, but not to the extent of winning an award. Even if this award is just an insignificant award to Yingwan. But it is a supreme honor for an ordinary student to get it. She saw all this information that night, and she could not find the original version of the paper online, which meant that she was more likely to buy the paper. Why Yingwan is so sure is because this kind of thing is actually not uncommon in academia. There are even professors who steal excellent papers and theories from students through illegal means. However, this kind of thing is too serious in nature. Once it happens, it will ruin your reputation. Not many people will do it, but it does not mean that no one does it. So I didn't know until late. Including Hatton, there were such scandals a few years ago. The professor involved stole the student's award-winning paper and published it in a heavyweight journal, causing a sensation. However, it was eventually discovered that it was entirely written by the student. The student committed suicide because of the pressure from the professor. Fortunately, he was saved. But this incident broke out and caused a fuss for a while. It didn't affect Yingwan, who was immersed in the experiment at the time, but she also heard about it. So much so that as soon as He Tianqing's incident came out, she thought about similar things like this. If this thing really happened, of course it would be best if it could be handled in a low-key manner. Once this thing gets serious, it will not have a good impact on King Bei. According to common sense, Yingwan does not want to put King Bei in the limelight. After all, this kind of thing is so serious, it is absolutely impossible for the school to get involved. It is mostly He Tianqing's own problem, but where did he carry out these actions? He can so logically appropriate theories from other people's forums, and it can be seen that this is obviously not the first time he has done this kind of thing. Yingwan stopped these thoughts first. She had no conclusive evidence now. She could not convince King Bei that there were problems with He Tianqing's paper based only on her own professionalism. Such a big matter needed conclusive evidence, so she did not give Ching first. Bei Fang communicated, but made a call to Bai Ya. "Why are you calling me this late at night when you're not on a date with Si Lu?" Bai Ya felt a little weird when he received Yingwan's call. After all, he knew everything about the night, including Yingwan's date with Si Lu to watch a movie. Because that bitch Si Lu posted on WeChat to show off. Of course, he didn't make it public. He just posted an insinuation to Moments to express his joyful mood today, and then specially at Bia to share it. Could Bai Ya not understand this hint? At that moment, I almost vomited out a mouthful of old blood, and almost broke up with Si Lu in the circle of friends. One is the crown prince of the consortium, and the other is the second in command of the consortium. They are both celebrities, and they want face. This is how Bai Ya comforts himself. Yingwan ignored Bai Ya's weirdness. She had business at the moment. She pondered for a while and said, "I need you to investigate a person. He Tianqing from King Bei University, majoring in computer science. Today, the official blog of Qingbei University posted an article about video of his speech. She didn't need to tell too much, Bai Ya understood immediately, but was a little surprised. Do you know this person? Not really. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 479. Yingwan couldn't tell Tsinghua and Peking University for the time being, but she could tell Bai Ya. I suspect that this person's award-winning paper was bought. My major tells me that this paper was not written by him, but I need solid evidence. She only said suspicion. Bai Ya and her relationship were different. She didn't need to explain these words too much. Now that Bai Ya was mentioned, he understood more. From Tsinghua and Peking University. When it came to the business, Bai Ya's expression became serious. I will find someone to investigate immediately. Is it a big deal? If he really bought it, then this matter is a big deal. It's best not to let Tsinghua and Peking University get involved. Just find evidence and catch the person. Bai Ya also knew the seriousness of the matter. After getting Yingwan's answer, he hung up the phone and immediately started to investigate the matter. Yingwan was relieved to ask Bai Ya to handle this matter. She knew that Bai Ya would give her a satisfactory answer soon. In addition, the lonely genius was tearing up this matter himself. She promised not to care until she got an answer tonight, so she took a rest first. Unexpectedly, when she got up in the morning, she saw that Weibo was still a big deal because of this matter. The cause was He Tianqing's fans. They were upset that Luo Junling had directly mentioned He Tianqing on the official Weibo of Tsinghua and Peking University, and asked Luo Junling to prove himself. Luo Junling threw out a screenshot of the forum, and they said that the time was fake. They are not professionals, so of course they relied on their fans' instinct to make trouble, but this matter attracted the attention of other Weibo big vs. Weibo is full of hidden dragons and crouching tigers. Now many professors have their own Weibo accounts. How can they not know what's going on if others don't know? Just look at the forum comparison to know that it's incredible. At first glance, it doesn't seem so, but after a closer look, oh wow, there are really two theories that collide. Why don't you at Tsinghua and Peking University to come out and explain? Tsinghua and Peking University realized the seriousness of the matter. Although He Tianqing insisted that the paper was his own, he could not explain the fact that the two theories collided with each other. The collision of ideas can only fool laymen. Professionals can tell at a glance whether he borrowed from others. The key is that the original author came out to criticize him directly. He is also a genius from a world-renowned university, and he is not fake at all. But the key point of this matter is that the two theories he collided with were not proposed by Luo Junling himself, but by the friend on the forum who discussed with him. He Tianqing was called to his tutor's office at 8 o'clock in the morning. The tutor said with a serious expression, "Tianqing, you'd better explain to me clearly, what is the similarity between these two theories?" He Tianqing has always been his favorite student. He must have real talents and knowledge. He has won several award-winning papers. He is a child of destiny who is especially noticed by the superiors. When such a big storm happened, the tutor didn't believe it at first. Because He Tianqing is capable, why would he copy a theory proposed by a netizen on the forum? Who is the other party? But the key point is that the two theories were indeed praised by the professor. Everyone's praise for He Tianqing's speech was mainly focused on the fact that this viewpoint was particularly novel and unique, which means that the two theories are very important compared to the full text of He Tianqing's speech. I really didn't. He Tianqing was sweating at this time, but after all, his psychological quality was there, and his expression was still calm. I don't know what's going on, Professor, I'll tell you the truth, I discussed these two theories with others 2 months ago. Becoming the Richest by Farming. Author, Gu Mushuang. Chapter 480. 2 months ago. The time point on the forum was 1.5 months ago. That was when Yingwan and Lonely Genius met. Half a month later than what He Tianqing said. You said someone copied your ideas. The instructor frowned, feeling that the incident might cause a lot of trouble. I don't know. He Tianqing didn't insist, but just raised his eyebrows. I can give you evidence to prove my innocence. Of course, I don't know why the ideas put forward by the netizen on the forum are so similar to mine. It may be true that they collided with each other, or there may be other reasons. My computer was attacked and some information was leaked, but some of my important information was not on it, but this theory is on it. The instructor frowned. 2 months ago was also the time when the speech was requested and He Tianqing was asked to prepare in advance. If He Tianqing started preparing for it at that time, and even thought of this, it is not impossible. But to be able to be a professor at the level of a professor, especially a professor at Peking University and Tsinghua University, his IQ must be not low. The instructor didn't say what to say first, but just said, "Give me your discussion record from 2 months ago immediately." Since it was a discussion, he must have discussed it with others. He Tianqing said, "It's not in my dormitory computer. I need to go home. I will be back within an hour." "Professor, is that okay?" The professor nodded. He Tianqing turned and left. Seeing his back as he left, the professor still looked a little hesitant, but he finally made a phone call. Luo Junling almost exploded when he received the message, and sent a message directly to Yingwan. Lonely Genius, that shameless guy took out a discussion record from 2 months ago, saying that he and others had already discussed it, and said that his computer had been attacked, implying that we copied his views, /black?.jpg. Yingwan also found this message incredible. After reading the chat record, except for these two theories, the other content was not discussed by Yingwan and Lonely Genius, but since the other party reacted like this, Yingwan knew that He Tianqing's discussion content was forged. 1. The discussion content should be fake. Lonely Genius, I know, but this content must be written by a super awesome person. I don't see any big flaws. I'll ask my classmates for help. Yingwan knew that there was something fishy behind He Tianqing. He reacted so quickly and forged a piece of content. It was obvious that he was unwilling to give up. In addition, Yingwan suspected that his previous papers were forged. With a little reasonable thinking, he could figure out that this was not the first time He Tianqing did this. He was afraid of involving other things, so he would never give up now. There must be a professional organization behind him to control this matter. Otherwise, there would be no trace of buying or stealing papers in a row. He Tianqing was not so brave without absolute certainty. The key is to copy the theory of netizens casually. I don't know how he got out of this bad move. Maybe this netizen may be an ordinary person. But he didn't think about it. What if he offended someone he shouldn't offend? Bai Yat also called and said in a surprised tone, "Awesome. He Tianqing is really problematic. I am sure there is a force behind him, probably related to the academic community. It is buried very deep, and it will take some time to fish it out."